Hi Internet, I'm John Appleseed. Thanks so much for joining me on my YouTube channel today where we do a daily crossword puzzle. Today we've got the Sunday New York Times crossword for June 21st, 2026. It's Father's Day today. Happy Father's Day if you're celebrating. This puzzle constructed by Hannah Slovut-Einertson and edited by Will Shorts. I'm John Appleseed, your host here on the channel. The New York Times has changed their setup screen a little bit. Hence this, your game is paused. Usually, we used to get the title of the puzzle here on this screen, but I did look it up. The title of the puzzle is Big Draw, so that will be some kind of hint to the theme, and we'll see how it plays out. I see some circles in the, oh, and we've got a vertical grid. I thought maybe that was an artifact of me moving my screen around, but it looks like this is the way it is meant to be. Is this like, this looks kind of like a card, maybe a Father's Day card? We'll see. Okay, letters and the, what was it? Big Draw. Big Draw was the title of the puzzle. Letters accompanying applications, for short. Would you put a GPA on an application? One down is big name in the pasta aisle. Row is a pasta sauce. Two down, one often pictured wearing pointy shoes, an elf. I think that's right. Three down, task for an office gopher, maybe. Coffee or something. Recommendation letters would accompany an application. So rec is for short there for recommendation. 16 across, plant with an edible inner gel. Is that an aloe, maybe? 19 across, drove in an ATV, say, informally. That's to go off-roading, so maybe you off-roaded, rode in an ATV. Three down is task for an office gopher, probably begins with coffee. A coffee run fits. Four down is colorful wrap, a serape. We're three happy chappies and snappy serapes. They say we are birds of a feather. 22 across, unreal, fake or faux. 20 down is oldest living relative, or closest living relative, closest living relative of the circled letters. Huh. Okay, we'll have to figure that out. 5 down, spoke sheepishly with a question mark. You spoke like a sheep. You bawed, made the ba sound of a sheep. 5 across, includes without others knowing, in a way, to blind CC. 17 across, up to snuff, able maybe. What's 6 down? Compound found in marijuana. I think that's CBD. I haven't quite gotten into that culture. Probably won't. 7 down, what sets the tone? Is this a clef? I like able. For up to snuff. A clef on a music score tells you what range you're in. Is that what's going on there? 8 down, calms, sedate. Wanna be sedated. 23 across, verify, as an editor might, to fact check. Okay, so far we've got B, C, E, A, D, F in the circled letters, or we're going to have to rearrange them or figure out what order they go in. 9 across is I haven't a clue. 9 down is natural predispositions. Not sure. 10 down, builds, erect. Erect a building, erect a tower. 11 down, national park in Utah. Spent some time in Utah. Zion Arches, yeah, going through all the parks in my mind. There are quite a few in Utah. 32 across, ID used for far more than its name suggests. That's probably your social security number, SSN. 28 across, everything good? As a cook might ask, taste okay? Is for everything good? 13 down, driver's alternative to automatic. To drive a stick. Throughout my life, I've been unable to learn how to drive a stick, and I guess that's just the way it's going to be till... that's life for me. 14 down, semi-aquatic carnivore. Semi-aquatic carnivore. Ducks aren't carnivores, are they? 15 down, medical diagnostic, medical abbreviated, so we're going to have an abbreviation in the answer, maybe an MRI. I haven't a clue. Well, this probably beats me. So let's take out MRI. It's probably EKG or one of its cousins like ECG or EEG, all over the place, erratic. And 21 across, fighting technique used by circled letters, as explained at 76 across. All right, I'm not quite sure what's going on there. Natural predispositions are bents. I have a bent toward crossword puzzles. Here, try a sample. Take one. Fighting technique. Semi-aquatic. Are minks carnivores, maybe? I think ECG is a diagnostic tool, electrocardiogram or something like that. Necking as a fighting technique. We'll have to figure out what that means. I've never heard of necking as a fighting technique, but maybe it is. Okay, 22 across, unreal. Let's try fake. We got that E at the end. 20 down is closest living relative. Okapis are the closest living relative of the giraffe. I know from Disney's Animal Kingdom Safari ride, they have both okapis and giraffes. 25 across, launch points in disc golf. Some kind of pads. So are the circle letters going to spell giraffe? Closest living relative of circle letter. Necking sounds like a way that giraffes might fight. Okay, yeah, I like that. But I think, how are we going to get giraffe out of these circle letters? I see a B and a C here. What are the pads that you launch disc golf from? Not sure. A lot going on in this puzzle. We've got the circles. We've got a little bit of a theme. We've got an unusual shape to the grid. 29 across, laptop mode. I think sleep mode is for that. 33 across is do wrong, to err. To err is human. Whatchamacallit? Doodad? No. 48 across, physician specializing in reproductive health. Would that be a gynecologist? A gyno, informally. Golfer Yanni. Don't know. 26 down, the Jetsons' son. That was Elroy. His son, Elroy. Jane, his wife. Okay, so maybe disc golf, they have T pads instead of T's to launch. Whatchamacallit? What is this? 42 down. Free, is it a noun? Just a generic noun? 42 down, free. No cost or something. Is Yanni Tseng? I don't know this name. I guess I'll have to trust to luck there. Whatchamacallit is a noun. I can't think of what else it might be. That seems to make the most sense. All right, I have something wrong. It's probably going to be that square there. 30 across, tap product. Ales are on tap. 24 down, show groups are casts. 34 across, they're just one problem after another. Some kind of lists. One problem after another. I think of math homework. 27 down, attended as a lecture. You sat in on a lecture. 31 down, temporarily gave, lent or loaned or something like that. Is this IQ tests? That gives us a Q in a circled letter. I don't know what's it's gonna spell. 35 down. This goes in one ear. A Q-tip. Is it all going in one ear or out the other? So Q-tip goes in one ear. We got One Tin Soldier rides away. The 1969 anti-war song. 49 across. Like some flights. Like some flights. Are they flights of stairs, flights of whiskeys, or something like that? I don't know. Long hooded cloak. That's also an author's name for 53 across. I think a capote is a large cape, and Truman Capote is an author. Temporarily gave, lent to. I guess you're going to have international flights. Yeah, we could abbreviate internationals. INTL. 50 down, I want you to be honest. Let me hear the truth. Something like that. 59 across, white dwarf phenomenon. Is it a nova? I think white dwarf is what is left over after a nova. Let's guess that. I may be wrong. 37 across, Spanish direction. Right, the Spanish word for east is este. That is a cardinal direction. 47 across. Word on either side of 2. Blank to blank. No, 44 across. Belgrade residence, capital of Serbia. So we'll try Serb for that. 36 down. 1, 2, 3. And 4, 5, 6. In brackets, that's the notation for sets in mathematics. So I think those are sets of numbers. 45 down. Sometimes intentional genes feature. Some genes are intentionally ripped as a fashion. Nuance. 46 down. Looked upon. Beheld. Okay. Then we get restrict. Tie down, I think makes the most sense with that. TIE beginning. Areas of influence are spheres. I heard the song of the spheres like a minor lament in my ears. There wasn't a thing left to say. The night we called it a day. 39 down is term or groups of what I think is going to be giraffes. And I know from Disney's Animal Kingdom Safari Ride that they are called a tower. Teeny tiny is eensy. Toe to toe is a phrase that fits for word on either side of 2. 61 across is blank so often. Every so often I like to sing while I'm doing a crossword puzzle. 66 across, certain natural hairstyle. Don't know that. 52 down. R&B group Bell Biv, don't know. Offering in lieu of a cash refund, perhaps, for 38 down. You might get store credit instead of a refund. Locks or lokes is a natural hairstyle. Is it Devon or Devon? 67 across. Boy, you're asking too much. Or what you might say after following the instructions at 76 across. Okay, this is a second reference to 76 across. Let's see what that says. 76 across, annual June 21st celebration of the animal depicted in this puzzle by connecting the circled letters from A to T and back to A. Okay, so maybe if we draw a line on the circles going in alphabetical order, we would get the outline of a giraffe, so kind of a connect the dots puzzle. I'm hoping there's going to be an animation at the end that does that for us, because I'm not going to try and do that on screen. That would explain why the grid is vertically oriented like this, because we need room for the giraffe. This could be the, there's a word for the little horns on the head of a giraffe that I learned from Disney's Animal Kingdom Safari Ride. That's not quite coming to me, but these could be those little horns. This could be the giraffe's head. Yeah, I think I can kind of see the giraffe if I imagine connecting these dots. So I think that's what that is going to be. You're asking too much. It's a tall order. That's a tall order. Something that would be a reference to giraffes. DeVoe for 52 down. That sounds plausible. Bell Biv DeVoe is the R&B group. And 76 across, annual June 21 celebration. I guess it's going to be like National Giraffe Day or something like that. World Giraffe Day, maybe. We'll figure that out from crossings. Okay, it's interesting that, well, Father's Day doesn't always fall on the 21st, but I guess, and coincidentally, it does this year. 56 across, a part of many a mailing address in brief. A P.O. box. That would give us an X for this square. 54 down, follower of X or Y, an X or a Y axis. Makes sense. Traps during a storm, perhaps. Ices in. Ices in. You were trapped. You were iced in. The 56 down, Pennsylvania school for short is probably Pitt. 57 down, 10 minus dos. 10 minus 2 in Spanish would be 8 or ocho. And 58 down, testify, to bear witness. Fits. Okay, so 71 across is Tor, popular browser for accessing the dark web. Yeah, I think that's right. 63 down, salts formula. The chemical formula for salt is NaCl, sodium chloride. 68 down, look at this. I don't know. 69 down, part of WASP. WASP stands for White Anglo-Saxon Protestant. So we'll try Anglo there. 50 down. I want you to be honest. Level with me. Yes. 64 across. Vermont summer hours would be Eastern Daylight Time in the summer. Chicago's Blank Planetarium. Adler Fitz. I'm not familiar with the name. Is it okay for us to leave for 72 across? Can we go? That gives us threads around a forum. Threads, probably clothing. This means clothing you might see in an ancient Roman forum. So we'll try toga for that. Wouldn't have got that without the having all the letters already. 70 down, ha 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 ha, rolling on the floor. This is going to be World Giraffe Day for what we're celebrating, in addition to Father's Day. 73 across, it's one for the history books, an era. 74 down is vow. Not sure. 75 down, where Ferrari is race in brief. That is probably the New York Stock Exchange. NYSE, I would guess race is there. Stock symbol, that's kind of a common crossword clue. It's one for the history books. An eon? Eon is really too long for history, but I think that may fit. A vow is an oath. Okay, that gives me some confidence about it. Boundaries are limits for 83 across, and 88 across limber could be lithe. 82 across, secondary account in social media slang is your alt account, and look at this, turned out to be ta-da for 68 down. All right, 77 down, tots, injuries, owies. Wait, a tot, a small child might describe their injury. 81 across, Japanese audio brand. Don't know that. 78 down, price for a return, perhaps. Price for a return. A ransom? The price you have to pay to get your loved one returned to you. Iowa kind of rings a bell. It's one way to say yes in Arabic. I think I may have seen it on electronics products. 84 across, be part of as a film, to act in. 89 across, Hindu god with an elephant head. I'll confess I know this mostly from an episode of The Simpsons. Ganesh. I don't know what the ending is. 84 down, audibly shocked, a gasp. And 81 down, tree whose leaves are eaten by giraffes. Okay, Casey. Wow, I'm glad I live in the Orlando area, so I've been to Animal Kingdom quite a bit, and all of these fun facts about giraffes are serving me in good stead. Let's try Ganesha maybe for the Hindu god. 94 across, defeats without difficulty. Aces out, is that a phrase? Tone of color could be a hue. And 91 down, memo abbreviation might be to the attention of someone, ATTN. Let's check these crossings. 100 across, certain sib is your sis, your sister. Que blank contigo, que pasa contigo, what's wrong with you in Spanish? Yep. Okay, so 101 across, MLB team whose stadium is less than 10 miles from another MLB team. So that's probably the Mets, who are close to the Yankees, I would imagine. Okay, we're about 2/3 of the way done with the puzzle. I'll try and finish this off here. 85 across, surprised to see you here. Oh, hi. 92 across, satchel with a gendered name. A man bag, I guess. That kind of fits the sense there. Big garage, essentially a hangar where you might see a plane or something. 87 down, they're sent after save the date cards. First you send the date card. Then you send an invite. I think that works. I blank you. I envy you. 93 down, 8 bits, probably a byte. 103 across, go on, beat it, get. And 107 across, cancels out. Let's try negates there. 96 across is Indian Royal. That's probably a Rani. Political exile is an emigre for 80 down. 104 across, pizzazz. Elan, a nice crossword word to know. 99 down, tick off. Annoy fits, and then maybe the Indian royal could be Raja or Rana. French for yellow, that's jaune. I remember. Okay, let's try Raja for the Indian royal. 110 across, common holder of pens. Common holder of pens. A bun of hair? I'm not, maybe annoy is incorrect. What's 115 across? Give a buzz. Yeah. And 119 across, clergyman known for his verbal gaffes. Okay, Spooner shows up in pretty much every cryptic crossword I've done on this channel. He's a fixture of cryptic crosswords. If you're interested in cryptic crosswords, by the way, join me on Tuesdays for a cryptic crosswords apprentice class where I try and teach myself cryptic crosswords. I've done New York Times crosswords for most of my life, but cryptics are new to me. I've gotten interested in them over the years, so I'm still kind of learning, and I do that every Tuesday on the channel. Give a buzz and tick off. Maybe anger. Then we can put our pens in a mug for 110 across. That usually where I kept pens on my desk before I retired. 97 down, nutty extract, probably almond. I was going to say almond milk. Maybe that's wrong. 115 across, give a buzz. To phone someone, give me a ring, give me a buzz. Fur pattern on a giraffe. There are spots, I guess. There are reticulated giraffes and Maasai giraffes who have different spot patterns. 114 across, Honoré de Balzac's Blanc Goriot. Okay, that's where I read that in the junior high French class. I read about it in junior high French class, where I also learned the word jaune for yellow. 111 across, mathematical constant equal to 2 times pi. I've probably heard of that, but I don't know what it is. 117 across, farm play area. No. And 121 across, takes little effort. Huh. Okay, well, we're almost done. 124 across, habitat for giraffes. Savannah might fit. 129 across, something running at a bar, a tab, or something like that. 132 across, debut to stockholders in Wall Street lingo would be IPO'd, initial public offering. It's not enough letters. 124 down, you reap what you blank. You reap what you sow. 121 down, bit of superhero wear, maybe a cape. Not all superheroes wear capes. 117 down, spelling bee with a question mark. 106 down, small superhero whose catchphrase starts at up and at 'em. That's probably Ant-Man, although that doesn't fit. I think there was another, was it Adam Ant or maybe Atom? I don't remember. 112 down, self-reflective question. Nope. 113 down, start to take off as a onesie. You would first have to unsnap a onesie, I think. Mathematical constant. Is it tau? That would fit as a Greek letter. 117 across, farm play area. Nope. 121 across, takes little effort. No. Let's try Savannah for the giraffe habitat. That's one way to spell it. Something running at a bar could be an open tab. And then 132 across, went IPO. That's how we're going to fit IPO in there. Then spelling bee. Spelling bee. 7, raven. I think it's either Adam Ant or Atom Ant. Yeah, I like Atom. Atom Ant. That gives us tau for the mathematical constant equal to 2 times pi. Self-reflection. Self-reflective question. Aren't I? I'm good at crosswords, aren't I? I think I am. Farm play area. Something like a corn maze. A bee, like a quilting bee, is a group of people who participate in an activity. Maybe if that activity involves casting spells or spelling, you'd be in a coven. So I like corn maze, or corn, what would be a 3-letter corn thing where you might play on a farm. Takes little effort. It comes easy. It takes me little effort to do it. Late singer Bryson. Don't know that. Filter option. Sepia is a color. I guess you can add that as a filter on some kind of photo processing software. Becomes wild at a party. Gets lit, maybe. A corn pit. Okay, I haven't heard of that. And I don't know the name of this singer. Rest in peace, Bryson. Peebo? Corn pit. I can't think what else would fit there. So another one where I'm going to have to trust to luck. 122 down. Star Wars character whose species is never named. Is that Yoda? Do they not explain that about baby Yoda, where he comes from? 126 down. Holiday whose name means festival. The 3-letter holiday is probably Tet. There's probably another 3-letter holiday, but I can't think of it. 120 down. YouTube button with 2 lines. Pause buttons have 2 lines on them. That gives us Tate for 133 across, the art museum that awards the annual Turner Prize, the Tate Gallery in London. Fateful Day, or the Ides of March. Starchy plant in Asian cooking. Yeah, lotus something, I like that. Minimally for 123 across, we'll try a tad. 116 down, practically speechless horse. I'm getting a little hoarse myself. I have to keep sipping water here. 131 across, digital know-it-all. Maybe Siri knows it all. Okay, reindeer cousins. Let's try elks. For that, almond oil for the nutty extract. Okay, yes. Then 127 down is Mork's home planet. Nanu Nanu. Mork is from Orc. Lotus root, probably, for the starchy plant. And 128 down, Tiz. Fits as a synonym for indeed, and I think T will finish the puzzle. There we go. All right, just under a half hour. Had a little bit of difficulty. I was hoping we would get a little animation of the giraffe being filled in. So I think the thing that confused me most was that we were going to have to spell giraffe using Q's and B's and D's. Turned out not to be the case. It was a connect the dots kind of thing, and that wasn't something I was going to do on my own. I have to. What's the name for this little horn thing at the top of a giraffe's head? That's going to bother me. I'll look it up after I finish with this recording. All right, I like these puzzles. I like puzzles that go a little bit out of the ordinary. We had to get a tall vertical shape for the grid in order to fit the connect the dot giraffe. I like that, and that was fun. It really helped me that I have, going to Disney World and getting giraffe trivia every couple weeks, and that helps fill in some of this. Do we have a lot of clues that didn't make sense or were kind of trite or overused? Not too many. I learned that minks are carnivores. I did not know that. ECG, I've got to look up EKG, ECG, and EEG and figure out what the difference is between them. And, tau, I have to figure that out, and I have to figure out what a corn pit is. What was the thing I was worried about over here? I don't remember what it was now. There was a part where I said, this is golfer Yanni Tseng, or Tseng Yanni. I'll have to look that up and make sure I remember that name for future puzzles. All right, I hope you enjoyed that. Please come back and join me on my channel for more puzzles and games, and I'll see you next time.